am
We are
recording.
live.
From the industrial wastelands of Michigan to the fruited plains of Iowa, this is the American Greed Factory. Oh, hello, friends. It's been a while since we've done one of
Our
these.
biannual American Greed Factory.
Yes, our twice yearly American Greed Factory. Year in review. Yeah. Now we just went over to the movie format, and life got in everyone's way.
Well, yeah, the Verhoeven effect is much more structured, so it usually has more expected results. Where it's like, a Greed Factory could go anywhere from half an hour to 4 hours. So.
Yeah, we've done a lot, and we had to cut that back because my wife quit working night shift. So it's like, I don't have like from midnight until 8 in the morning. Like, we got 12 hours. Let's get.
And then with Verhoeven effect, we were trying to keep it consistent to build an audience, but we failed to do that. So I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. So.
I mean, so did 99.9% of other podcasts. So we're in good company. Just be glad people don't like us or care, because then we'd be getting criticized all the time. It's like, these guys don't know what they're talking about. It's like, yeah, obviously that's part of the gimmick.
And neither do you.
Yeah.
But again, at least we're real people, so with real mistakes.
Yeah. So far, yeah.
Rather than like, oh, we prompted an AI and we just believed it, or we have to like do further work to see, all right, AI, where did you get this info from? And then you have to vet the info the AI got it from. It's like, all right, is this AI info also, or what is this?
Might as well do my own research for this. There's like wholly generated podcasts that way now, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the worst is there's like YouTube like news things that it just conglomerates a text together of like whatever is going on or whatever people are after.
Okay.
Because mom is always incidentally watching these like AI generated news stories on like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That kind of, right. Okay.
And like it's like the barest of material, and then just has an AI robot that leaves. I mean, it's like it sounds like a person, but it's AI. So, but they just got the news out there as quick as possible, so people glom to it because they want all the information they can get. Like I don't know, like you have an iPhone, but I'm not sure. Do you ever use the iPhone like news section? Okay,
No.
because I'm not sure if it's the nightmare that the Google News section was, which used to have like, oh hey, here's what's going on in the news, and you could click on like, this is like a a CNN article, which is by comparison a reputable thing, or a New York Times article, or a Wall Street Journal, or whatever. But now it's just all AI nonsense, and
Okay.
well, I guess not nonsense, but like it retreads everything. It's like, here's one more bit of information, and then it's essentially the same article every time, like explaining the backstory of who this is and what's going on. And then at the end of it is like the one sentence that is the actual new information, which is barely any information. And like they have like these like, because like I'd look up like Caitlin Clark stuff, so then they have these like these weird I'm not sure if they're attention getting or whatever, but like it's like, what 3 words did Caitlin Clark say to her teammates or whatever, and and then they'll be like almost an exact same article that's listed as being the 5 words Caitlin Clark to somebody. And it's all derived from the same press conference.
Okay. I just checked the Apple News. It's just a news aggregator to pay sites. So it's like, hey, this looks cool. Nope. Subscribe now. It's like, nope. Okay. How much? Yeah, I need $100 news bill every month.
Well, I mean, now it might be worth it because if it's actual news and there's just like AI clickhole garbage or whatever. But yeah, like they are just like, that is so much garbage out there. Like it's essentially like they can take a paragraph and spin it into 80 news stories. It's like who's
Yeah.
this for? It's like it's for the company that wants clicks, and somehow
Yeah.
clicks equates to, stock market or whatever.
Yeah. This has replaced the Indonesian
Yeah.
click farms and stuff where they had 5 billion cell phones on a, and you just
Yeah.
tap
Did we learn
things
nothing
over and
from Punch the
over.
Monkey? So.
Yeah. No.
For those who don't know, I think this was a thing. Well, I definitely know Punch the Monkey was a thing, but like around the initial like burst, the internet bubble burst, it was all,
Yeah.
everything was, they didn't know what metrics to gauge like site traffic on, so they decided like, well, clicks equates to site traffic. And they would have like
Yep.
and this is like also like a golden age of like pop-up ads and stuff like that, which were wholly unwanted. And why we have entire things on the internet devised to make sure that those don't happen. And there would be like a little game that's called like Punch the Monkey, and basically it would trick you to play like this game, and basically it would register a click to like give clicks to these sites so they could then go to their investors and be like, look at the clicks we got on this site. And it was completely a facade. It didn't mean anything. It was meaningless clicks, but at the time it equated a thing. And I don't know why, but I guess they've gone back to that model or whatever. So
Yeah. No, they.
I mean, there's literally a site
Yeah,
called
it does-
Clickhole. Like,
Yeah. Clickbait journalism, click farm, click. Yeah, there's click everything.
Yeah.
It's just to keep an artificial
Yeah,
economy afloat, where it's just to keep something afloat that's hard to measure its profitability and or exposure, and it's never been figured out. I mean, and it goes with anything like internet. It's like, well, Netflix is buying Hollywood now. It's like, really, they have 1 billion subscribers that pay $100 a month. Where are they getting this money? It's like, no. How many subscribers do you have? None of your business.
Yeah, if you can hide the metrics away, you can be as profitable as you want to be. So
Yeah, just keep printing money.
I did see an article. It seemed to be like an almost complete article, not total AI garbage, of some director was making a Netflix show, and then like he somehow like had access to the funds to the TV show and took $11 million and put it in like speculative like cryptocurrency markets and bought like 5 Rolls Royces and a Ferrari and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
And
good for him.
they actually put him in jail. They had to applaud him for his ingenuity.
Yeah. Well, if he didn't send the money overseas to terrorists, I see that as a win.
What other garbage is out there? But yeah, there's plenty of things to. Now you have to ignore almost everything on the internet, and like. Yeah, and like we've talked about it before. I've mentioned it on Vero Effect a bunch of times, but now like Google is like almost completely worthless as a search engine, because now it is just gone full like, well, now let's just we've pretty much grown as much as we can, and now we must serve our corporate shareholder overlords. And so like, okay, now it's pay to put everything on top, and so now people are like paying to make sure like everything you search just leads to something you can buy from somebody. And so now it's almost completely useless information. And then like a way to get around that was just to put Reddit at the end of your search, because then you'd find like actual people talking to each other and like links to actual sources. So then you could like, oh, here's somebody talking about it, here's a link what they're talking about, and then you can vet it for yourself, and then it's usually be useful information. But now that shit's bleeding into Reddit. Now you can't even know like now you can't even be sure that the Reddit user is a real person.
Well, that's the thing is Reddit, I remember, used to be like really cool. Like you could get into specific topics. There were people in there talking about things, and I'm talking about normal stuff. There's crazy places to go too. But now, like, it's like, yeah, so how'd you get that gray on that Panzer tank? Nazi. It's like, what? Where is this coming from? And it's just like, it's like there's normal people talking, and then there's like a layer of schizophrenia in between the normal comments, and that seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. So somebody's infiltrated that or something, because it's like it's the most obscure shit. It's like collector's marbles. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, I love marbles from like the 1920s. Look at this one. This is cool. And then it'll be interjected with like, you guys all suck.
Well, I don't I don't mean like it's being interjected by trolls. I mean like corporations are creating fake accounts to act like real information on Reddit to pretend it. Like it.
Oh well, yeah.
You're talking about is like
yeah.
individuals combining together to make things worse. I'm talking about like corporations coming together to make things worse.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't get a lot of advertising or fake stuff in mine. It's just the crazy.
Because I don't even see the advertising because I have that like locked away. Although if I look at it on my phone, I see the advertising, which you can clearly like. It's all labeled if it's advertising, but it's the stuff that they're trying to get away with that not labeled as advertising, where it's like, oh, I'm just a genuine person, and here's some information you might want. It's like, oh, where did this information come from? It's like, oh, the company that's trying to scam you. That's where it came from. So,
yeah, maybe my model building forums. It's like, because that is legitimate transfer of information there. It's like, oh, you're looking for that gray? That's like Tamiya XF2214, and you mix it with X3 blue or whatever.
Yeah,
but
see,
those seem like genuine human responses with products included.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you'll probably if the aggressive like new like model paint company came to town and like, no, you don't want that shit, you want this thing, and it's like, what the hell is this thing? And it's like, oh, it's a bad company that's getting their name out there for some reason. So.
You want Lacquer Dave's straight shellac.
Yeah, I think like that community is like enough of like a niche thing that is probably protected because like who's going after that audience? But
nobody.
I see a lot of the garbage like on because I only have like so many forums I check up on. It's like, oh, here's the F1 forum, here's the Squared Circle forum, and then here's like the building automation forum, and then like not much else. And then like I was like, well, what's in the popular section? And the popular section always kind of a grab bag of nonsense. Is like, is this really the most popular stuff on Reddit right now? But whatever.
Yeah, I just do models and guns. And the gun formats on Reddit are the best. Because it's every stereotype in the world gun guy, like all in one place. It's like, oh, your gun sucks. You didn't spend the extra $10,000. It's like, yeah, neither did you. If you did, you're an idiot, because what are you doing with that?
Why didn't you get the Tragicon? It's like, because it's twice as much as the gun cost.
Oh, it's even bizarre shit. It's like, yeah, you don't want the Bulgarian shit. You want the Czech stuff. That's what gets garbage. It's like, based on what? Elaborate. You guys suck. Okay, cool. I own a gun store. Really? What's its name, address, and phone number? We'll meet you there, all of us.
Yeah, that's
so you can show it why the Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why you can't take like the comment section on face value. But if there's links to something, that's when you can kind of trust it. If it's just somebody saying something, then like you have no. It's just these like information cowboys that like, oh, I think I'm right, therefore I'll present this as fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's still good stuff out there. So like when I was taking the transmission out of my car, like on Reddit, I found they had links to a Japanese website with manuals with like the, what do you call that? Like the tech manuals in English on how to take the car apart, and they're free because they're, I guess in Japan that's supposed to be available to you, but not necessarily in America. So.
Yeah. We got a Chilton book here. It's $100.
Oh, I bought a Chilton book for that car. Like absolutely worthless.
Really?
Well, I guess the thing with Subaru is like they're really, even though they have a lot of different models, it might be different now. But basically there was like almost like four different cars that used all the same stuff, and so it was just under like yeah, it was like here's an Impreza, an Outback, and like two other cars. It was just a combination booklet on how to like vaguely do things with your car maintenance wise. And it's like it wasn't specific. So it's like, well, this isn't the same as this car, and you're just kind of like giving vague directions like, well, if you take this bolt out, then like, yeah, this might be the same like transmission and engine, but like the body's different and things are connected differently. So whereas like the manuals that were available through the Japanese website is like, this is your car, this is your transmission, this is exactly how to take it out. So, in fact, here's the tool you need. It's like, oh, cool.
That's actually
whereas like
helpful.
Chilton's like, I don't know, like the screwdriver or drill a hole in the side of the car. It's like, the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, I'm just like, yeah, car guy stuff. You just kind of have to have experience with it. Like those manuals are like, they'll give you some of it, but you kind of have to like go the rest of the way. Especially when you have like,
Right.
here's picture A, here's picture B. Like, man, I think there's like 400 steps between the A and B here that you're missing, that you're not telling me.
Yeah, I've had model instructions like that. You know, it's like, yeah, here's how you assemble the cannons. The cannon's done. It's like, oh, is there a page missing? It's like there's like 42 parts that go into that cannon, but okay.
But yeah, that's internet woes. Just general internet stuff. Yeah, what is it? What other downfalls are we looking at?
What other civilizational ending scenarios are going on?
Oh yeah, they just had I can't, did I tell you about Claire Obscure Expedition 33? I'm not sure if I did it on a podcast or if I told you it separately. They had the Game Awards last night, which is kind of serving as both like E3 and an Oscar for video games.
Okay.
It's kind of like halfway embarrassing, and also it's kind of like it's super corporate, but that's the way it exists because they're friendly to corporations. So I think it costs like literally like $1 million a minute to advertise on the Game Awards.
Wow.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, must not care to you, Nathan, because I don't even know if you know if it existed. So
okay. No, okay. I had no idea.
But yeah, basically Claire Obscure like kind of swept the awards last night, and it's kind of a interesting because it's basically it's an indie studio, so it's not, you know, it's independent. Yeah, it's independent, so it's not owned by like a corporation. At least not yet. I don't know.
Yeah, so far.
It's super French. I think it is developed by French people or maybe French Canadian people. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's an interesting crew.
There's a lot of developers in Canada. Canada at some point put a lot of like investment in training like game development studios, and then basically through a bunch of like tax advantages, it became like and there's just good talent there. It became very lucrative to put all your game development studios in Canada.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so like this is how the hell. It's basically it's a world that's been shattered into pieces, and then like France has been shattered into pieces, and like what's left of humanity kind of like lives on this island. And then like off in the distance, there's like a monolith that has a number on it. and at the start of the game, it says 34. And you're like,
Oh, is this the one where everyone that
Yes.
age has to die or something? Okay, yeah, you did explain this to me. Okay, I remember hearing about this from you now.
And like you start the game like running around with people, and they're talking about the gommage, which I think means like the vanishing in French or something like that. But like I had no idea. I was like, okay, yeah, the gommage. What the hell are you talking about? And you like spend this time with this girl, and then they seem to be like, it seemed like they had a relationship before, but then like, yeah, it's not going to work out again. And then you find out why. And he's got like and they're talking about like, oh, you're gonna go on the expedition, and like you still have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. So, because this game kind of respects your intelligence and like is assuming you're going to figure things out contextually rather than blatantly telling you what's going on. So, which sometimes that's a hard thing to to weave. So.
Yeah, that's a lot going on there.
And then and you see his patch says 33 on it, and then like you see like the tower that says 34. It's like, which I thought at first meant that like I thought the island where they were on was like 33 or something like that, and the 34 was like a different island with different people on it. But it's like, no, that's not what's going on. And then so yeah, we get to the gommage where they have like this kind of giant figure they call the paintress. Changes the 34 to 33, and then basically everyone who is above the age of 33 will just disappear into a petal of roses.
Okay.
And then like you figure out later on like, oh, there's been expeditions, like I forget where it starts. I think it starts at like Expedition 76 or something like that, and it just counts down. So every year you just lose these people until eventually I guess all of humanity will be dead.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
And then also everyone who's been on an expedition, no one's ever come back from an expedition. So everyone who goes on an expedition also dies. So usually it's the people who are like going to be gommage the next year usually go on the expedition because like, well, you might as well try rather than just sit here and wait to die. So, and then you just see like, oh, like. And then you have to realize, like, basically, like, all the there you see children around there, and you realize, like, oh yeah, like, man, if somebody had a kid at 18, and now they're 33 or 34, like they basically had what 16 years, and then your parents die, and then that's just gonna get closer and closer. So basically, like. The society is interesting because you basically like, oh yeah, well now all these kids' parents are going to be dead, so they have to be adopted. So there's kind of these like weird, like spider webs of families because they just know like, because like, well, like everyone's going to be orphans, so you just kind of have to like, and then basically like people who are like in their 20s are like adopting kids that are like, like 10 years old, and like, but this is kind of set out advanced ahead of time. It's like, well, your parents are going to be dead here, and now I'm going to assume responsibility for you here. So yeah, and then, yeah, there's magic and stuff like that, and then the game is like you go out on your expedition, and you fight monsters, and it's like a time-based. It's kind of like an active-based. I mean, it's a real-time strategy, or not real-time strategy. What do you call that? Like Final Fantasy, where it's like you take your turns and turn-based strategy. But this has the thing, and like this has been done before, but it's like where like if you hit an opponent and you hit a button like at the exact moment you strike the opponent, you'll do extra damage. And then also like if an opponent strikes you, you can hit a button to block it. And if you do it at the right time, you'll like either like just completely negate the damage, or you'll have like half the damage. And there's also like a block and a dodge. So if you hit the dodge at just the right timing, you'll have no damage. And then like sometimes you get a counterattack. And it's just very like involving. So like it even though the combat's kind of repetitive and simple, at first it gets incredibly complicated and engaging, even though all you're doing is just, hitting a button at the right time. So it can also be infuriating. So, I've yet to beat the game because I was enjoying it enough that I started to wander around in all the like kind of side missions and stuff like that. But like some of the side missions are like so like hard It's like, am I even supposed to be here? Do I need something special for it? And then like I just ended up like, now I'm like so out of tune with the game, it's gonna be really hard to get back to it and finally beat it. But it's a really cool game. So and just really interesting style and story, good acting and stuff like that. Strange humor. There's like what the hell is it? There's like this weird, like, giant puppet thing that flies around, and it's like full of wine, and and it flies you to like your neck. It can fly, or it can swim you around the world, and eventually it can fly you around the world. And it's like this must be French humor. I don't know. It's very weird. So and then yeah, but also the story is like incredibly brutal and effective. So, and the other game that's effectively brutal and effective is Baby Steps. So I'm not sure if you've heard about this game.
No, I haven't heard about this one.
It's created by a couple guys, but maybe the biggest known guy is Bennett Foddy, which you probably don't know who he is. He makes very like, I don't know. Do you know what QWOP is? Okay.
No.
QWOP is like a web game where it's like QW and OP like controlled a runner and like the different parts of its legs, and it was like very like hard to make it run. It was like a very obscure kind of like game, and it's like I forget like the Q moved like the lower leg, and then like the P moved the upper left leg, and it's not, and like you can make it run, but it was like very complicated to get it to make happen. And it played the
so it's just like a coordination challenge.
Well, but it's also like just intentionally obscure control schemes, just to like, and the fun of it or the challenge of it is like making it work regardless. Even though this is like incredibly like an intentionally imperfect way to control this character. So yeah, that's kind of like his back. And they made a game called Getting Over It, which you play a guy who's like in a cauldron, and he has a sledgehammer, and you control it by a mouse, and you can make him like move the sledgehammer around, like basically like you like poke the sledgehammer behind you to make it like shove you forward, and then you kind of have to like swing it around and grab things. And like as you progress, there's like this narration that's like talking about like, you know, failure and coming back from it and like all this stuff. And there's very intentional spots in the game where like you'll fall off the map, and then like you'll end up at the start of the game after spending like 3 hours like navigating through it. I've beaten that game twice, I guess. So it's beatable. It's frustrating. People have made even more frustrating games than that. So like that, by comparison, that one almost seems fair. So, so this is another game that's kind of like intentionally like obscure control schemes. Like you basically you're just like you just have the left trigger and the right trigger to like move the legs, and then you kind of like barely push forward on the stick to kind of like move forward. And so you're just kind of like left, right, barely push forward. Because if you just hold all the way forward, he'll just like fall on his face. So,
oh, okay. So he's kind of teeter-tottering. Okay.
Yeah, it plays a character, Nate. I think they call him like a 30-something fail son, where he's just living in his parents' basement and then just like getting high. He was apparently a DJ, and he's watching One Piece. So I'm guessing that is that's like the epitome of failure, is watching One Piece. So, do you know? One Piece is? I guess I'd say a famous anime, but you don't even know about it. But it is an incredibly prolific anime. So it started in the year 2000. The anime did. The manga started like even before that. And it has more episodes than The Simpsons. It has over like 1,200 episodes or something like that. Which means like if you started watching it now, you could be like every day, like it would take you like almost like a year and a half to watch the whole series. Now they do it like they do stuff where like they kind of refresh the style, and like I think like there's a new style to it right now, and I think they're like in space or something like that. So they kind of like freshen it up a bit. But I've never even watched one episode. I was just like aware of it. Netflix has done an adaptation of it, which I heard is like pretty good, but it's a live action adaptation, which Netflix's live action adaptations of animes are usually pretty bad. So, but I heard good things about this one. But so yeah, One Piece is just known for being like one of the most prolific animes out there. So,
oh, okay.
Which yeah, I don't know how they do that. I don't know if it's just they just like we have a team, they know how to do it, and they just knock it out. But also like the guy who makes the manga is also very prolific, so I think they still just have source material to work off of.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you got like the Stephen King of manga, yeah.
And I think that's the guy they basically like call a vampire, because I think he's like in his 60s and he looks like he's like 25. Like he just doesn't age. So so yeah, like all of a sudden this guy is like his parents call a meeting, and then he just like kind of wakes up and then just disappears from the world. And then he falls into like this little pond, and you have to like kind of swim out of the pond, which like all of his movements are comical basically, and you can hear him like burbling as it's like kind of seems like he's drowning, but the character can't die, but he'll fall and well, his whole world like nobody can die. So and then like then like the character will walk comically because of like how the control scheme is. So then like it's literally like baby steps, so you're kind of like barely moving the character as you figure it out. Now like when you get good at it, like you can't necessarily run, but you can really just like get around without even thinking about it after you get good at it. So there is a weird skill to it. And then you meet the first person, and like all they're doing is like trying to help you like get along in the world, and then he just like refuses any help whatsoever. He's like, I can do this. And it's like this whole interesting kind of character of like who clearly needs help in many different ways but won't accept it for whatever reason. So but yeah, that's a good game. So surprisingly effective for what is just on the surface just a ridiculous like humorous game. So
oh, okay.
And then you can get special hats, and then when you go to sleep you go into weird like looks like Game Boy, and then you just have these little like story segments of like Nate's life or whatever, for like him like working at Burger King and getting fired. When you put the crown, when you find a crown, put it on your head, and then go to sleep, then you'll have the Burger King dream. So.
Sleep coded hatware.
But yeah, that's baby stuff. Have you played any games this year, Nathan?
Super Mario Kart on my Game Boy, yeah,
or Switch.
Or Switch.
I did get the Switch too.
Oh yeah, what'd you think of that?
It's good. I haven't really used it much. I've only played the one game on it. Well, I got Metroid Prime 4. I've been playing that. It's been kind of a slog, but it looks really good.
Okay.
I haven't tried the mouse mode on it yet, because that's the game that you can use. You can play it like a first-person shooter with a mouse, because you can take the side controllers off, and then you can like put them down, like the connection bits. If you just put that down, and then you can move it like it's a mouse, because they have like little infrared sensors in it, and it can act like a mouse.
Oh,
which I haven't tried that yet, but it seems like interesting. It's like I don't think I want to play it that way, but luckily this is my Pro controller for my Switch, the first one, and it works on the Switch too, so I just use that. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza is great. So the games look good. So, but I have it. It's there. I figured I better buy it before the tariffs make it even more expensive. So
Yeah.
yeah, because like well, it wasn't the tariffs, but like it was just other economical reasons. And Xbox, they raised their prices on the consoles like almost by like $80, which that almost never happens. That a console goes up in price; it almost always goes down in price. So unprecedented times. So, but like I guess Xbox is basically just ceding its like its position in the in video games. It's like, yeah, we're not gonna have any more growth. Like PlayStation's pretty much taken up everything. So, well, it's not necessarily PlayStation. It's also that just like phone games, which I don't even play. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like games have moved into like I just want to be distracted for 10 minutes at a time instead of like I want to do a lot of stuff.
Well, it's weird because I always hear this commentary about like Xbox doesn't release games, and like no, they release a ton of games. And I'm like PlayStation 5 doesn't release a lot of games, but when they do release a game, it's always like this big prestige video game, and then that's
right.
I guess that sells their system, that people will buy it just to play the one game, and like yeah. And there was a leak this year about the Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2, because somebody like hacked into is it Naughty Dog? No, who was it? Crap. Insomniac Studios, I think. And like, I guess that game cost like $200 million to make, which I didn't know.
Wow.
I thought the thing about video, like I knew like programmers make a lot of money, but I figured like even a programmer working for like 5 years costs less than like a celebrity, like in a movie. But I guess not. I guess it's on equal terms. So, but also like with all these like high res assets that they're making nowadays, or 4K assets, like they just have hundreds of people working on a video game. That's where the cost is. Like it just takes.
Right. Yeah. It's not just one or two guys. It's like hundreds.
But yeah, then that game will go on and make here's a $70 product that then will sell 20 million copies, and it's like, what's that, $1.4 billion? So it's worth it if you can make the money. So, but yeah, I don't, yeah. But yeah, Xbox doesn't really have the big prestige games. I mean, technically they own Activision now, which last year's Black Ops was really fun, and this year's is pretty garbage. Seems just kind of thrown out there. They almost try to combine all the elements of all the Black Ops, because the Black Ops series has a really weird lineage to it.
Right.
Like the first one was great. The second one was like pretty good, but it was still kind of like out there, or like nonsensical in a way, but that's kind of like it's kind of its thing, with the whole like unreliable kind of like narrator stuff going on. Right. But then the third game was like in the future, and it's like all takes place inside somebody's mind as they're dying.
Yeah.
But you could have like all this weird like dream-like gunfights, which is kind of interesting. And then like the fourth Black Ops was like online only, no single player mission, so that was super weird. I think Black Ops 5 was a Cold War one, which was like fun but not the greatest. And then last year's was 6, which that was pretty good. And then we have 7 this year, where like they tried to do like the weird dream-like like shootouts again. So you do have like fun moments where you're like fighting a boss and like picking up a weapon that like where you launch a giant machete from the sky to hit the boss. So it's like it's kind of fun, but then that's like the fun moments, but then like the in between stuff is just like, this isn't a game, this isn't fun. Like there's tools, but it's not like, it just seems like very just slapped together haphazardly.
It's like, well, here's what we like from Death Stranding, and how do we make it into a Black Ops game? Yeah, it's just have dream logic run through it.
Well, again, that like the dream stuff, when it's like that's the good stuff. It's all the in between, like empty, like what do you call that? Like you can kind of go anywhere. Like what do they call that? Yeah, it's like, but it's like an empty sandbox essentially. Like eventually, every once in a while, it's like, oh, you haven't fought anybody yet, and they'll just like a helicopter will come in and drop off some guys, and then you kill them, and then like you just move to your next objective. It's like completely empty of like it's just all random, so it doesn't feel any kind of like it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel artistry. It doesn't feel like it was what do you call that? Not cultivated, but like authored. That's it. It doesn't feel authored. It just feels
There's no intention there. It's just like do this, repeat. There's not like you're not building towards anything. It's like, oh, you've killed 72 enemies. Next level. Yeah, that's no good.
Oh yeah, and also Death Stranding 2 came out this year, so that was fun. That's spent way too much time in it, but like I like to get all the collectibles and stuff. You know, you got to get Nathan. Eventually, you get like you do a mission for a pizza guy, and then you get like pizza dough that you can like hit enemies with and blind them and use it as like a distraction. You get a hoverboard that's a coffin that you can like skate around on, like it's like the hoverboard from Back to the Future 2. And then of course in this world, if like people die and then like a what is it called? A BT touches the dead person, a nuclear explosion will go off. Unless you bury them in tar, so then you can, if you accidentally kill somebody, you can put them in this coffin and then like bury them in the tar. You know, the strange universe of Death Stranding. So
right, no, yeah, it's
the story is bonkers, but like is very effective. It ends very well. So but yeah, I think that it's a pretty good, decent year for video games. So.
Oh well, good.
I can't remember, what did you say? Oh, you played Mario Kart on here. Okay.
Yeah, actually played that quite a bit. Yeah, so it's to the point now I have to like buy the expansion to make it enjoyable.
On the Switch 2, they have the new Mario Kart World game, which like on the surface seems good, but then it's kind of weirdly not like uninspired. like it sounds cooler, and then when you try it out, it's like this isn't as cool as it seemed. So, but they'll probably support it, so they'll probably get cooler. But you almost want to like something like Grand Theft Auto Mario Kart, where just races would just like kind of happen spontaneously, which it kind of works out that way, but it's kind of doesn't, the way it sounds, the promising way it sounds is the way it's executed. So
okay, I see what you mean.
Is there even, should we talk about Pluribus, or is there other shows you want to talk about that have occurred this year?
No, let's talk about Pluribus. There's enough to talk about there.
Well, I saw a bunch of animes this year, just like, usually it's like I just need something like I just need something dumb to watch while I'm going to bed. So,
yeah.
I have 3 that I picked out just for their interesting ones of it. I think I told you about Undead Unluck, but I don't think I actually like spoke about it like online yet. So it is it's basically like a kind of like a superhero show that is dealing with the end of the world. I can't even remember like who's trying to end the world. Or what is that? There's like a group of people that there's like 9 of them or something, and like they kind of have like a round table, and then they go out and try to kill like other metahumans or whatever, or superpowered people, and then if one of them gets killed, then basically you can take their spot if you killed them. But they're always trying to kill the people that have like superpowers or whatever. And so yeah, there's two characters. One's called Undead, and then the other one's called Unluck. So hence the title. You start the show with this girl, like, having a memory of her parents like dying in like a plane crash, and then she goes to jump off a bridge in front of a train. That's how the series starts. And then this guy like saves her, and the guy's undead, who he's basically like he's like live forever and can't die or whatever, so that's his superpower. But then he has like crazy abilities that comes out of that, because he usually fights naked, because that's how he ends up being that way. Because so like he can fly around like he's Superman, but not because he has like ability to like just fly. What he does have the ability to do is regrow his limbs violently, to the point they like a jet spray of blood will shoot out of his appendages when they regrows his arms or legs. So to fly around, he has a sword that's just shoved into his body, like into his shoulder blade, into his body cavity. It's just held there. That's how he holds it. And then he'll cut off his legs and then fly around with the blood spray.
That sounds weird.
He'll even just like sometimes, because it's like space and convenience, just cut his head off and fly around as the head, like some jet spraying blood everywhere. And he also has like a piece in his head. It looks like a sword got broke off in his head, but it's just like this little square piece that he puts in his head so he can forget his past life, so he doesn't want to like kill himself like all the time. So, even though it's like, well, you're slicing your body up, aren't you really killing yourself anyways? But he can't die, so. So whenever he takes that out, he unlocks all of his memories, and then like, if they have to fight something that's like extra mean or like going to destroy the world somehow, like he pulls that out, and then like he becomes extra evil and has all the knowledge of like his past lives and like its ability to murder people or whatever. So, yeah, the girl is unlocked. Basically, anytime somebody touches her, like it generates like kind of like Final Destination level of like Rube Goldberg like atonement for death or whatever to happen upon the person that touches her. So because this guy can't die, he'll very anime. The power is like if he gropes her, then like something bad will happen to him, and then basically he'll attract the bad thing to him around the even worse people, so that they'll be in the way of the bad thing happening. So they're like collateral damage, like the thing's trying to kill him, and then but he can't die, so it doesn't matter, and then it'll kill the person in between that they're trying to fight. So, yeah, and then like he says like, yeah, and he's always making like these grand gestures, like he's trying to like win her heart as well. So he's like, and basically telling her like, I can't wait to win your heart, so when I have sex with you, I can finally die. So
yeah, this seems like that kind of plotting.
Yeah, that's just all of Japan.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the craziest animes I've seen. I know there's crazier, but that was for as upbeat as it is. It like it's for as crazy as it is and violent as it is, it's weirdly an upbeat show. Like it's, especially when the ultimate thing is a guy trying to kill himself. But yeah, another one I saw was called Fire Force, which is basically like a firefighting anime, but like superhero firefighters. But here they're not just fighting fires; they have a thing with they're like spontaneous human combustion is a thing, and it'll just happen to people. Well, people will just they'll catch on fire, but they'll become fire monsters and then start like wreaking havoc. and then this firefighter force has to stop them. And I really like the design of it because like they're all wearing like firefighter uniforms, like big heavy coats, but then they have like the blue like Dayglow stripe on it, and it just like looks cool aesthetically. But then the show gets crazy up its own ass. Everything it does, because like, I mean, I guess it's kind of cool, but they have like tier systems of like they call them like fire adepts or whatever, and like there's like a Gen 2 fire adept that is like they can't create fire, but they can control it, and they all have different ways they can control fire to eventually like somebody can by controlling fire they can eventually like control space and time by association with fire and energy and all that stuff. There's one guy he can basically do like wanted stuff with bullets because like he can control the bullet because when he fires the bullet, like that creates the fire that then allows him to basically like telekinetically control the bullet.
Okay.
Which then he can just shoot people with a bullet because he can slow the bullet down to basically act like it's a rubber bullet rather than a real bullet. So that's why you can have one character who's basically just like taking a shotgun and shooting somebody at point blank range, but then not killing them in a horrible fashion. It's like, don't worry, I slowed it down. Yeah, and then they're like the main character. He can like basically like he always has his shoes off because he's a Gen 3 adept, so he can make fire, and so he basically can fly around because he can basically emit fire from his feet in an explosive fashion and his hands too. So then it's them going about trying to figure out like, what's causing spontaneous human combustion.
Yeah.
And then like there's a weird opening that talks about like we created a Maturatu, like endless energy, and it's like, well, that's gonna have some evil like connotation later on. Well, I think also
what could go wrong?
Well, you find out like because it looks like it's a modern day show, but then you find out like something like 500 years before, basically the entire world caught on fire. And almost all of humanity died. And then because they were able to create this Matarahu, with it basically has endless energy, they were able to like rebuild society, like mostly in Japan. Like other societies exist. Like it seems like America exists, but it's not all like it's not like the America you know or expect. And like we haven't been like the only places they've been in the show is Japan and China, or at least what's left of Japan and China. So but yeah, it was a interesting. I both saw these on Hulu, so I don't know if they're elsewhere. But the one that's on Netflix that I really liked is called Mashal. It's like Mashle. It's a combination of magic and muscle just crammed together as one word.
Okay.
The main character's name is Mash Burndead.
Okay. That seems like it's kind of going to be on the nose.
Well, actually, it doesn't make sense, but it seems like one of those fake character names they were throwing out in like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode. It's like Hunk Burn Cheese or something like that. He's like
right. Yeah.
It's pretty much a spoof of Harry Potter. But like it's like a extremely fascist world, which is interesting.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Japanese kind of like
they like to dabble in that.
Yeah, they like going back in time.
Because in like season 2, they have a character that looks almost exactly like an older Harry Potter, like a Harry Potter in his like mid-20s, and he's just a fascist, and it's funny as hell. He just wants to murder people because that's what the rules say. So yeah, in this world, there's something about like everyone has to be a magic user, has a magical ability, and that's always denoted by like there's a stripe on your face, and like if you have that means like the more stripes you have, the more magical abilities that you potentially have. And so that's seen as like being touched by God's light or some shit like that. And basically, if you're not magical, you'll be executed. So,
that's no fun.
So you have so there's this guy who, like, he, as a baby, is found by this, like, old guy, and he took him away because he knew he wasn't magical, so he made sure he didn't get murdered, and he just, like, lives in the forest with this kid and raised him up. And basically he taught him to, like, he wanted him to be able to defend himself against magical people, and so he got him into, like, weightlifting and stuff like that. So, and so he kind of looks normal, but, like, he's like crazy strong. Like, he'll, like, you know, he's just, like, bench pressing like 600 pounds and stuff like that, and, like, has endless stamina, and, like, you know, and, like, is quicker than the eye and stuff. So, like, and there's, like, a cop that finds out he doesn't have magic, because, like, he also loves cream puffs, mashed burn dead. That's his whole thing. He's very sincere, but he's also stupid, which is, like, the fun of the character.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's smart when he needs to be, but he's, like, dumb in kind of, like, social situations, because, you know, he was raised apart from people, so he doesn't necessarily, like, understand other people. But, like, so yeah, he, like, went into town to get cream puffs. People noticed he didn't have, like, his hood got, like, blown down, and people noticed he didn't have any mark on his face, so they knew he didn't have magic. So the cops go after him, and basically with just, like, his like, athleticism and muscles, he's, like, defeats all these, like, magic cops. and then like the magic cop is, like, impressed by this, like, I forget what he has. They're gonna, like, con their way in to get, like, him into magic school to become some, like, special, like, graduate of the magic school. And when he does that, like, this cop can make a bunch of money. Like, that's how the setup of this character is. And so yeah, he gets into the magic school, but he's just making things seem like magic, but all it is just his, like, strength and speed. Because there's, like, there's a thing where they have to do, like, they have to fly around on broomsticks, and, like, he doesn't have magic, so he can't fly around on broomstick. And there's, like, the thing where, like, they just, like, put their hand over the broomstick and say rise, and so when he does it, like, he can't control the broomstick, so he just, like, slams his foot on the ground so hard that the broomstick, like, jumps up in the air, and then he just grabs it, and then he says rise, and then one's like, hey, you didn't say rise first. He's like, whatever. And then when he has to have a competition where he has to, like, fly on the broom against this one kid, and so, like, he does it, but the way he does it is he basically just throws the broom like a spear, and then just, like, grabs onto it as it flies through the air.
So it uses the momentum to ride. Okay. Just kind of like pulling yourself up with a rope that's attached to you.
And then they have, like, a Quidditch game, and then he gets, like, invited to be on that, and, like, he spends most of the game on the ground because, like, I can't fly. He keeps telling people he can't fly. And then eventually he's like, hey, what's going on? He can fly. And then you just see that he's just, like, you know, flailing his legs so fast that he's floating in air. Like, he's become a human helicopter. So.
This guy's extreme physical abilities.
So that's, like, the whole humor of the show. And then, like, it's like, yeah, with the whole fascism angle, it's weirdly, like, I don't know, like, contemporary and done well. So yeah, I recommend it. It's very easy to, like, swallow because it's so farcical and nonsensical. So. And just finding, like, the different I mean, the second season gets kind of, like, a bit up its own ass, where it's, like, gets very dark and we need to save the world. It's like, wasn't this a comedy? So, but
yeah.
But season 2 has fascist Harry Potter, and that's just funny every time you see him. So, which I say that he's basically, like, you know, drawn more angularly, and then has, like, the Harry Potter glasses, and then, like, his eye symbol is like the bolt that Harry Potter has on his head, but just on his eye. So it's pretty clear it's just Harry Potter. So, but that's the animes I see. Have you seen an anime this year, Nathan? So, okay,
I have not.
Now we can talk about Pluribus, the new Apple show.
Oh, yeah. This was I mean, I'd heard about it, but I had no idea like what it was going to be. Because the trailers made it seem like, oh, it's a story about a miserable person in some kind of vaguely futuristic society. That's what the trailers make it seem like. It's
because you see all these drones flying around, and then like people like talking to this person, like why did they need to cater? Why are they catering to her? That doesn't make any sense. Like,
yeah, why does she seem so indifferent to it?
Why is the world empty around her, but like there's something engaging with her? So yeah, I thought it was just like, oh, this is going to be like a Black Mirror episode of something. I mean, it kind of is, but but it's a bit more detailed and interesting than that. So
yeah. So I watched, I don't know, like 3 of these in a row.
Yeah, I watched it, and I just sent you a text. I think it was on Thanksgiving or something like that. I had said, like, you should probably watch more of this.
Yeah. So, yeah, and everyone's always trying to guess, like, what's going on in this movie or in this show. Because essentially, let's see, but roughly and quickly is like a signal is received from space, and they figure out a way to decode it, and they recognize it's like, oh, there's like RNA sequencing in this. How do we break that down? And then they create some kind of virus that apparently links everyone's mind on the planet, but they don't have any individuality anymore. They're just like, it's not like they have an internet in their head. It's like, no, they're just drones in some giant.
Well, that's the debate.
Yeah,
because the way I see it is more like as like it's like an internet thing. Because they do mention all the individual people and like where information comes from, but there is other things to like. Well, does that individual exist anymore, or is that just the information from the individual?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's. It seems to be. It seems to be like there's an underlying dark.
I don't know. You keep looking for that. I try to find like what's the most interesting like positive outcome that they can make, because that's always the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, well, because on the surface it does seem very positive. It's like, well, everyone's happy and there's no more strife, and it's like, yeah, and everyone's moving in one direction. But I mean, sometimes the characters do say things. Like I remember when Zosha was talking to Carol, who's the main character, and about, assimilating people, and she's like, yeah, we have genetic imperatives. We have to do this. It's like, that was the episode where they gave her a hand grenade. It's like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Okay, yeah.
Which I love.
It's like, I know.
I love that.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then, like I mean, the minute she says like, yeah, I'm so happy. The only thing that can make this day better is a fucking hand grenade, and then Zosha shows up with a hand grenade. And it's like, that'd be so funny if they said, like, we didn't know if you were being sarcastic or not, but just in case we brought a hand grenade. Because that shows it shows the ridiculousness to which how, like, I don't, what do you call that? Their how ridiculous their hospitality is that they lose all common sense and admiration of it, or in approach of it. Because also these people, why they want everyone to be joined together is like, you see like how uncomfortable they are around people that have individuality.
Yeah. And then as the series goes on, we find out things about like, well, see, the reason I think there's some alien thing to this is because if this is like an assimilation of all human minds, it's like, oh, they don't eat animals anymore. Not only that, but they won't farm or harvest.
That was super crazy. It's like, well, how are you going to live? And it's like, oh, we'll die if we don't figure something out. And it's like, that's practical, because they say they have these genetic imperatives, but that genetic imperative is suicidal.
Well, that's why I don't think it's something entirely human, because human beings, human minds, whatever they are the product of apex predators that rose to the top of the food chain, not through speed and strength, but intelligence and problem solving. And there's like, you're never going to stop being that thing unless something's overriding whatever makes you human, which is like, well, they're either paving the way for, if they're paving the way for something just to colonize the planet, which would take like 600 years. If we're still slaves to Einstein in this, it'll take 600 years. Or it's not coming, and this is just how the aliens propagate.
Well,
it's like because you're just there's no type 2 civilizations. You're just stuck on a planet sending.
Yeah, because like when the first episode, you think is like, well, clearly this is an alien invasion, and everyone's mind's just been taken over by something. And then they clearly state out that that's not what happened. Like, it was alien sourced, but they are not aliens themselves. They are a collective mind that's been put together by this. But then it seems like afterwards, it's like, now there's just immediately world peace because everybody's the same person. But, them having to convert everybody, like, all of a sudden, like, killed, like, almost 1 billion people on the planet, because then, like, everybody has a seizure when they get brought over into this, the psychic mind glue thing or whatever, them and joined together. And so, like, now they're, like, basically cleaning up the planet, like, harvesting resources to be used appropriately and, like, as efficiently as possible, like they don't need to have like lights at night because nobody's out at night or works at night unless it's like necessary. And like everybody sleeps at night. There's no crime. There's all this stuff that happens because of this. And then like, but then like you see that they can't lie. They can't ever like deny a request unless it's just an impossibility that they can't achieve. It's like, oh yeah, well, wouldn't that be nice if this planet was left in pristine condition with all these resources, and then the people are a pushover to take over? So.
Yeah.
So.
Well, or there's another thing, like someone was explaining, in order to punch a signal from that far away, you're either using the resources of an entire planet, and you're aiming it strictly at Earth. You're burning your planet out to get a signal that strong to travel that far and remain coherent. Because there's like guys that have done math on this, and they're like, wait a minute, that or they either have a Dyson sphere where they've just encapsulated a sun and they're just using all the power of a sun to send that signal out omnidirectionally and hope of hitting something.
I think, that's brought up in the series because like in that first scene where they're at the VLA, the Very Large Array. Because that like, well, this might be a different. That thing, well, that tragically collapsed that that big satellite dish in like Brazil or whatever. That
one where they filmed
and I think it's also in Contact. Which the VLA is also in Contact as well. That was just like, here's a big thing. Well, you don't necessarily have to build a giant thing. You can also just build like 3 satellites equal distance apart and then kind of focus them together, and you can basically have a planet-size like radar dish. But that's just to listen. That's not to project. So, anyways, they're at the VLA, and like all the people in that scene are just the people that work there, and then they just ask them questions about like how would this be possible and stuff like that. So like they basically did like the math and storytelling together for the showmakers so they can bring it. So
they were saying like that's like that it would require like the product of an entire civilization basically burning itself out to send that signal that far coherently, hoping that someone would be smart enough to A, receive it, and then B, decode it, which leads to the other dark thing is like, well, that was all bullshit, and this is the actual singularity. This came from Earth, and it was something that some group has done because they figured out like, well, the processors clearly aren't going to work unless we're just going to build nuclear reactors every 10 miles because the processors use so much power that will never achieve artificial intelligence. But what if we used all the biological processors to bring them all together? Which is like, that's like making people into technology. But I don't even know, like, I don't think anyone's even close to understanding how to do that we know of.
I mean, that's why like everything becomes efficient in the show because like everybody's just like, there's no like interpretation. Like everybody just knows. It's like and even see it like like when we first see Zoja, like she's like walking up this like mountain, and then she like helps pull a body out of the car because it's like she's just helping out, but she's not, she's not physically adept at moving bodies, and so
yeah, she's like 100-pound woman. Like she's not going to move a dead body.
but as soon as like they get around people are more adept on it, like her job is passed off to them, and then they eventually like they get her to an airfield, because now that everybody is everybody, she knows how to fly. She knows how to fly a plane. She knows how to do everything. Anybody on Earth that's known how to do something, now everybody can do it. It's like your only limitation is basically physical limitations. So, which I wonder, like, are they gonna have somebody with Down syndrome, and now like it doesn't matter anymore because they're just everybody as well. So there's no.
Well, that would be interesting to see if they could be connected, because they actually have like an extra chromosome. That's what makes that different. And it's like, because you don't see, the only child you see in this is the one Indian lady who had a son. And it's like, you don't see children, babies, which is like, what's going on there? What?
Yeah, because we're wondering, like, how are they going to propagate? They're just going to like start genetically putting people together that will make babies, and like, does that baby immediately become like absorbed into the like the hive mind or whatever, collective, or however you want to say it? So,
yeah, there's a lot that hasn't been revealed, so it's kind of interesting to get. The other thing is, this is all Carol's dream, which actually, as lame as that would be, it's like, well, that would actually make the most sense, because everything else just seems vaguely impossible. It's like, oh, well, if it was a dream, then this would make sense, because she's someone who is very isolated from everyone else and is very frustrated with people, and these are the most frustrating people ever, because they're just mindlessly happy. Even when it comes to their own like death, it's like, well, yeah.
Well, and also in like Carol's like her trauma from watching her wife die because of what they did, without anyone's nobody got a say in this.
Yeah, so that's the other thing about the gentleness of these people. It's like, no, you violently usurped, and you, for all we know, erased everyone's mind permanently. It's like, there's nothing good. That's where like because the character I like most so far is Manosos Oviedo, the guy from Paraguay. Because in the last episode, remember, they're like, you don't have to cross the Darien Gap. That's suicide. It's like, we'll even bring your car to you. And he just pours gas on it and lights it on fire. And he's like, nothing in this world is yours. You've stolen everything. That's cool. Yeah. I like that.
Well, yeah, yeah, because I heard some people talking about like his mother, like the reveal at the end is like she comes out of darkness. So clearly, the others have like this darkness to them they have not revealed, which I don't necessarily think that. It's just like, because I'm like trying to like, I think it would be lame if they're just suddenly evil. I think it's just like the consequences of them being kind of like so upbeat and kind of like because that's the thing. It's like the only thing that kind of keeps them individuals is their perspective, like being posed against like all the people that aren't a part of the collective. Because like if everybody was perfectly assembled, like would anybody ever talk to each other?
Yeah, they'd have nothing to say. I want to just be waiting around like a Borg in a node to like go do whatever the hell.
But this is where I think it is more like an internet thing, because like they do like they talk about like all the like they are making efforts to like be able to convert everybody that's not converted. So like they are like coming up with things and designing things to now have all of humanity's like mind to do that. So they have to be generating new memories. So there has to be some sort of like debate and collective going on inside. It's not just like a list of blueprints. They're generating new ideas. But
well, and then like and also like Manosos found that on I don't know what it is, like what 8.1967 kilohertz or whatever. like there's something. Someone says that's actually the theme from the beginning of the show. You know that.
Yeah.
They say that's a broken down version of that. I don't know if that's true. Somebody said it on the internet. They didn't show it to me. So I was like, well, yeah, break that down in a video where you compare those side by side. Or are you just saying something that's like, yeah, everyone's going to repeat this? It's not true. I don't know. But yeah, the supposedly, and then people, of course, launched into like, what might that mean? And then it was like, well, that's like a baseline so all the minds can communicate. It's like a common channel on that frequency. And it's like, well, human brains don't have transmitters in them. And it's like, no, but they have the same things in them that birds do, where there's like magnetic things in our heads. That's how some people know direction just by where they are. Like that's how birds always find where they were at before. And they're like, yeah, that could have been realigned somehow. You know,
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, their mind bond is like of chemical nature or whatever. They're not like setting up a machine, because you see how it starts. So it's like there isn't like it's just the connection between human beings and not like anything. There's not like a third party that makes it happen. So.
And there also seems to be like data delay and transcription problems too, because they do have to stop and think about stuff. There's not instant answers. So that means it's either coming from a common source or they're all being queried simultaneously. We don't know. But yeah, there's little things revealed especially if you pay attention to the dialogue. It's like there's things said and things that happen. And I'm not coming up with all this myself. I've also scoured the internet, but there's nothing anyone said that I haven't already thought. So it's like, well, that's good. At least I'm paying attention in the right way.
But there was a thing that they were talking about. Was it Menounos? His mom? He's like, you are my mother. My mom's a bitch. And then she walks off and like into the darkness again, which. Because we see this thing kind of be manipulative, because it chooses Zoja because it's like the female version of her character from Carol's book she wrote. But she wrote the character straight to be more like mainstream.
And a male,
and then like,
too.
And then like only her wife knows about that. So it's like, how do you know that? It's like, well, your wife joined us before she died, so we have all our information in here. So, which that makes Carol extra mad, because but she's still like processing from the trauma of that, and that's why she hates all these people. So, and she's a writer, so she's just like, like she even states out loud, like, we all know how this movie ends. It doesn't end well. But that's what makes this interesting, where it's like the more polite invasion of the body snatchers.
Yeah.
But so it's like, okay, well, what's up with Menounos' mom? Like, do they just have the information? Like, well, that's his mom. These are her memories. But like, is anybody who was a bad person now erased because like that wasn't useful information, or it's not like who they are anymore, or like so they can't even pretend to be it? Or is it like, is Menounos' mom, does she not think she's a bad person and that's why she doesn't act like it? Because it's only, she doesn't know her, because her son's not a part of the collective, she doesn't know that her son hates her.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because they seem to reflect emotion. Because they'll talk to Carol about how, what is her name? Her partner. Damn, yeah, because the character list, the acting list here is like phenomenal and hard to read, because almost everyone's a bit player. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, they accessed Helen's memory and they understand like, oh, she had positive feelings towards you and, and loved you. And it's like, they're almost saying that like it's an abstract concept sometime. And I don't know if that's because they don't know what an individual, or they can't remember what an individual was, or they can only reflect emotions in a certain way, because emotions overwhelm them. Like when Carol gets freaked out, like they start shaking and falling on the
Millions
ground
of
and
people
stuff
die.
because they cannot process that. Yeah, millions.
Yeah,
of
and
people die.
that's why they desperately want to convert everybody, because if you're just a part of us, then you'll understand. Which they make it sound like it's just a blissful thing of just like, oh, you're just in bliss all the time, and then you do helpful and constructive things all the time. But you're not. Right. But you're not an individual. You're all a collective. So it's, but then that's also like just a part of the show where it's like, if we just understood each other, we could have peace. But because we're individuals, we never will. But then individuals like what makes us unique, and then that's like where the problem is. I don't know. So it's a very fun show to kind of like parse everything out about like what could be going on if this was a real thing. Like what are all the details you'd have to deal with, and but like originally like when you had the Zoja episode when she shows up, like none of these people talk to each other, and that's like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, or like if everybody was converted, would these people never talk to each other, and then like eventually just like humanity can no longer speak anymore because they just don't? Or are they gonna have like practice sessions where it's like, oh, we gotta start talking to each other? But then there's that one time where like, it was in the episode where like she goes to like give truth serum to Zoja. Like you see that there's just like people walking around in the background. So it's like, is the collective deem that like that's just what they do, or like because also like, was there no longer going to be like obese people anymore because not everybody's just going to do the correct thing? But then they also talk about mentioning like they have to. You now have all these drug addicts that are no longer drug addicts. Well, they're still drug addicts, and they just have to like biologically deal with it. So like they have, and people still have like, diabetes and all this stuff. And this also all has to be accounted for because they do have like this need to like save all life that they can. Yeah, that's when you get the crazy thing with like, they won't even like pick an apple because they like hold all life in such high regard that they will only eat like apples that have like fallen from the tree, and then they'll like mourn its like loss or whatever. So,
yeah, see, this is real alien stuff there. Because consensus humanity, if this was a combination of all human thought and consensus humanity, the only people that crazy in the world that I know of would be the Jainists in India. Like those are the people that wear cheesecloth over their face so they don't breathe bugs in and kill them. Like there are, but that is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. That is by no means mainstream. So that's why I do like, I tend to go with the either alien and or machine intelligence theory, because that's not being fundamentally human. It's just like going extinct is not human. That's not something we do, no matter what kind of philosophies or better selves we imagine ourselves to being. When I mean, we saw this in Alive. Like if you're in a plane crash in the Andes, hey, we're eating the dead bodies because we don't want to do that. We don't like to do that. But at the end of the day, we're not going to engage in live cannibalism where we kill someone and eat them. So it's like in that way, it's similar. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're going to do what you have to survive.
But then
and these people seem to be like kind of zinny about it. Like, well, if we die, we could die down to an acceptable level. It's like, well, that's crazy. That's very machine-like.
But I did like that thing, like Carol finds the bodies and like they're grinding them up and doing a thing with them, and then like John Cena, it's like, hi Carol, we are currently John Cena. Now I know you've seen some upsetting things. It's called human derived protein. It's like, which that's like in the first episode, that's like a brilliant reveal when she gets home and she turns on like, and all the TVs are like, just blank. They've gone to like the sound test or whatever. And it's like, and then she finds like, it's like, what is it? What's the, not PBS, but what's like the government channel that's like free for everybody? C-SPAN.
C-SPAN.
And she's like, God bless America. And then you see they specifically like cut to her looking at the TV, and you can see her like eyes like kind of like dark, like reading what's on the screen. And then they cut to, and we see like the little tracker bar going on. It's like, hi, Carol, please call this number. It's like, this isn't a broadcast for the world. This is a broadcast going throughout the world for one person. It's like, oh, that's fucking insane.
Yeah. And there's another thing revealed. The highest surviving government official is the Undersecretary of Agriculture.
Well,
which is like that.
Oh, is he the highest? I thought he was just the highest and the nearest. I thought that was the other like thing.
Oh, I thought he said something about like he is because they were just trying to represent it to her. He's like the highest form of authority left because it wasn't the president or something getting on there. It's like, where are those people at? And it's indicated that the military knew something was coming. That's why they had to imperfectly implement this, and so many people died. So there was some kind of resistance going on out there, which may or may not still be going on. We don't know. Because for all we know, Carol could be like just a super weapon against these people. And they're trying to contain her because she can kill millions of them with being emotional, which is like,
but they can't kill her.
Yeah, for some reason.
But like, I know you're like hinting at, it's like, why did they kill all the leadership? And it's like, well, they can't kill. But unless it like their biological imperative can override their groupthink thing. So that's like the two things.
Well, you got to remember, she is in a Potemkin world too. They can present anything to her they want to. Now, the thing that's cool about the guy driving all the way from Paraguay is like, no, it does seem like the rest of the world is similar, but they're always ready for him. There's always people waving. They know where he's been. They know where he's going. So we really still don't have an idea of what's going on. What we don't see is like atom bombs going off in the distance or something. That might indicate something crazy. But that is one thing. Like, we don't know what this is. And, we don't know what Carol represents to these people. She might also be assimilated just in a different way.
Yeah.
Because she seems to have a lot of power. And she seems to be specifically hyper resistant to whatever's going on. Whereas the other 13 people, except for Minosos, who doesn't speak English yet, but he's learning on the way. That was kind of cool, too, from the old English to Spanish tapes.
Releases the mouse. You always wonder,
like, well, at first you don't know what's going on, and he's just saying things in English, like the gray cat. As he's walking around, he's practicing his English. The gray cat, and it's like, what does this mean? Then you figure out, oh, he's practicing English.
Then once he
before then you're like, nuts.
And then once he loses his car, then it's like he's saying his name and like, I'm here to save the world or something like that over and over again. So.
Yeah.
And he's like leaving money every time he has to like take something.
Yeah, he's not going to accept the death of the old world. He's still going to act as if he's walking.
Yeah, because like when you first meet him, like he's like basically starving to death, and like the others leave food for him, but he like just knocks it over, and then he like he's like the manager at like a storage facility, and so he like ravaged up all he could from food he could from a storage facility, and left like apology notes and like IOUs and stuff like that. So.
And then methodically went through every band on ham radio to see if there was anything out there. Which is like, that's a good way to keep from going insane when you're in self-imposed isolation like that.
But yeah, then I was also there's mention in like the podcast where they had the actress that plays Zoja. She's talking about like how like the character growth of the others, and so there's a potential that like, these aren't how these people are always going to be. Like they're going to like learn things and change accordingly, presumably. So, but.
Yeah, I can't wait until Carol walks into a room full of TVs and this guy's there. It's like, I'm the architect. We're gonna have one of those moments, probably next year, because I get we've got 2 seasons of this, and they're kind of talking like that's gonna be it. So, and it's 2 seasons of 7 episodes. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. Quite expensive episodes too.
But you see, like, that's kind of like they front ended a lot of the expense of the show, because the first 2 episodes are like basic, like huge, but then there's been a lot of just like, hey, we're just like hanging out like at the house and at the like different stores in Albuquerque, and it's not really like big expensive stuff. Although, like, when they put that store back together, they made that look very expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the thinking and the construction of this show is because you just don't think about things in terms of that. It's like, how do we cater to one person and recreate a destroyed world? It's like, oh, you just have an unlimited army of workers show up and put everything back the way it was.
Perfectly work together, don't have to communicate. Well, they communicate just like non-verbally. They know what needs to be done. But then
and the synchronized semi-truck driving was pretty cool too.
But there's that thing where like they talk to her like from the different people walking by, and like so they have all the different voices talking, which like that's where you get like the character growth thing, like maybe because like they have to know that's creepy, because like if they have all of humanity's like therapists inside of them, like somebody has to be like, oh, that's probably not a good idea.
When I listen to the podcast, I'm always impressed with the guys that they say like the extra wranglers on this show, or so, because 90% of the cast of this show is extras, just like people in Albuquerque. Hey, you want to be in this show? It's just you have to just like, oh, what do you got to do? I don't know how to act. Just don't talk. I don't march in a line, and we'll tell you what to do. But they Vince Gilligan said, the people that do that are actually really good on the show, because they do make everyone seem to like, oh yeah, they are moving with a purpose in the same direction, but it is literally just dudes. They pull off the street, and ladies like, hey, you want to be in the show? Because you only need to be in it for 1 minute. It's not like, oh, these are recurring characters. It's like, no, they're just random people.
And like they set the show in Albuquerque just basically like to keep the whole like production crew together. It's like, we worked on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and it's like, let's just keep it here. Like they do a really good job. So it's like, and like the design of the show doesn't need to be anywhere in particular, so it might as well be in Albuquerque. So
now I guess for the neighborhood she lives in all a set, because they said they did, because they actually, I guess they spotted some out that looked like that, and it's like, this would be perfect. But then it's like, and everyone who's a fan of the show is going to show up and take a brick from the house, or
the Breaking Bad house is like famous for being like haunted by internet trolls and people throwing pizzas on the roof. So
so they decided to avoid that this time by just building a secure set.
But then there's also the other thing where they talk about, like, the others talk to Carol about like why do you need to convert me? Like, what does that do for you? And like Zoja says something like, if you saw somebody drowning, you would throw them a life raft without even thinking about it, right? And she's like, do you think I'm drowning? And then she just kind of like maybe. Because that is the interesting thing about the Carol character, is that like, well, she seems to be the successful author, but she seems to also kind of like hate what she writes, she's a good writer. She just wants to make something more important, but she got success through something she saw as less important. It's just more fanfare. But she's an alcoholic, so that's like her character fault. And then she's not like out to the world, so that's always something she has to hide from somebody, even though she's like, her manager is also her wife, and they go do things together. But it seems like they get to go be.
It's described here as a hidden relationship. It's not something either one of them are open about. For some reason.
Then like they talk about the today's episode, like they show all the food from like their various anniversaries they had. So it's like they celebrate it. So in some ways they are open about it, but they're also like going to Iceland to do things so like nobody can see them and they can be themselves and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Um,
It's kind of weird. But also it's like, yeah, you don't know like what the backstory there is. Because didn't they say her parents sent her to
they sent her
some
a
camp where
conversion
they
camp.
pray the gay away stuff? Okay. Yeah, that'll fuck you up.
Yeah, which presumably, the people that did do that to her, if they're still alive, then they're a part of this too. So they know.
Carol should ask.
Yeah, just a great, fascinating series. So it's on Apple. Catch it. So. You can watch the F1 movie, which I watched, and it was okay. I mean, they didn't do the super underdog thing where it's like an out of nowhere team comes in and like wins the F1 championship. It's like, no, they do like what's closer to reality. If you're like a new team, it's like, hey, getting a point, that's just a win. Finishing a race, that's just a win. So it's like, you can't beat people that like have all this expertise and billions of dollars by like, even you know, because the way F1 works, even if you had $1 trillion, you couldn't spend that money to actually make a team better than everybody else. So because they now, because they have spending caps now.
Plucky outsiders. That's just a fantasy. Where it's like, yeah, I could do this. It's like in reality, the people that can do it are doing it. No one's just showing up like, I've mastered.
Now, there's I think it's on Hulu. It's the Braun GP story, and that's like as close as to like a Cinderella season you can get in F1. I don't know, maybe the early days you could have something like that. You know, we have like, was it Fangio or whatever, where he's like getting kidnapped by like terrorists in like Argentina when they have an F1.
Oh, is that like crazy 70s F1?
Oh, this is like crazy 50s F1.
Oh, 50, okay. Because I know in the 70s there was weird shit going on. It's like if we poison people's food, we sick the race, and it's like,
I thought that was F1. The hell was I talking about?
The F1 movie on Apple.
Yeah, but what details are getting into? Sorry, just forgetting 3 seconds ago. Why did I talk about Fangio? Oh, Braun GP. That's what I was thinking about. I think it's just called the Braun GP story. So this is like back in 2008. Like you have the economic crisis, and Toyota like sells off. Like, you know, they get out of F1. They sell off the F1 team. They sell it to Ross Braun for $1. And then he carries on the team. And then, so like the next year, they're basically an independent team. Like their team, their car is basically white with a couple sponsors on it because they just don't have enough sponsors. But they have a clever engineering design, which actually like the Toyota engineers came up with before the season started. That basically they with their design they made it was the best car on the field because of their clever design. Which at the end of the season, everyone catches up when they steal the design themselves and start implementing it. But yeah, it was this team that basically came out of nowhere. I mean, it existed. They bought it from Toyota. Toyota really wasn't that good. They had one good idea, and they spent the season, and they won the championship, driver and the constructor championship. And it's like, yeah, it is like a crazy Cinderella season. And then that team gets bought by Mercedes, and that becomes the Mercedes team that is now like was dominated for almost like a decade recently. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like the one underdog story in F1. But it's still like, it was still like, you know, yeah. I don't know, yeah. They got money somehow. But yeah, it's just, yeah. They eventually got bought out. Yeah, they still had really smart people working on it, so, you know. They didn't come out, it wasn't like, but it wasn't rags to riches. It was just like the remnants of an F1 team, a good idea, and then just a lot of plucky gum and glue holding all this together. So And then just, good enough drivers with the best car in the field. So, but yeah, I'd recommend watching that. That's out there too. Again, I think it's Hulu has that one. So,
okay.
But what's the lot?
So onto another movie.
I guess maybe this was the last movie you saw. What movies? Have you seen any movies in theaters this year, or is this the one?
I saw Weapons. This is the one. Yeah. Another Zach Krieger occult film.
Which he's from a comedy troupe called The Whitest Kids You Know, and he kind of got into directing horror movies. So it's very much that Jordan Peele route going on here. So, kind of doing the Robin Williams thing. It's like, well, if you could do humor, you can do horror and drama even better. So,
yeah. Yeah, I remember I watched this, and I will say this: I liked it. It didn't seem to be what it was in the trailers, though.
Okay.
It was almost like I felt like I was watching a different kind of slower movie with that was a lot more. Was also very, very openly paganistic in a lot more ways than just like the witch and the stuff that happened in it, but just a lot of the imagery, the stuff going on. Again, we talked about the Manchurian Candidate. Came really close to implying things about like, people being programmed as killers, and and how you do that, and what that means, and then had a lot of subtle messages in it about Stephen King, The Shining, and alcoholism. And it's like, they really threw everything at the book here. Yeah, because everything from demonic possession to occult witchcraft to using children as weapons against adults, possessing people and using them to kill other people, and just generally being gory at the right
time. Well, that's
the
interesting thing. Like, I think like nearly half the movie there's not really any violence. It's just all implied, and then at the end it's like super violent.
They just hit the gas. It's like, wow.
And they even have like this like maybe the most violence that happens in like the first 2/3 of the movie is like when the cop punches the drug addict guy, and then when that drug addict guy like stabs him in the face with the needles. Like, that's the most violent thing that happens until like the last act of the movie happens, and you just have like all the violence. You even get a rewind of like violence happens, because like you see like the parents' faces, and it's like, why is it all scratched up? And it's like, oh, well, the lady wanted to prove to the kid that they had in control, so they just had them stab themselves in the face with a fork a bunch of times. And then he had to like, didn't he have to like put like alcohol on the faces and stuff like that so they heal?
Yeah, I thought he was the one like, responsible for the wounds, because they just
that's like
the whole time.
like the way he has to take care of people. That's like almost like the tragic. I mean, the violence he has to witness just out of nowhere, that's very tragic. But then him seeing like him opening a soup can and like spilling half of it while he's like has it between his leg and trying to use the can opener. It's like, that's so sad. He has no idea what he's doing, but he's like forced to be responsible for his parents and all these children. It's like, he's gonna be super sad. He's got to go back to school and act like nothing's happening. It's like, because at first you just see like, well, this kid just seems weird, and he seems reclusive, and he doesn't like his teacher. And it's like, well, and then when you see like the backstory of it all, it's like, well, of course, like this is horrifying what this kid had to deal with. So, and then it's split up and kind of it's like it's Pulp Fiction, like where it's split up between like the stories from everyone's different perspective, and that's kind of an interesting pacing to the movie.
Yeah,
because then you just get to rewind, because because it takes place over a pretty long period of time, but then like you kind of have just this moment that it focuses on, and then just kind of rewinds in between that moment, and that allows it to build.
Yeah.
I mean, that moment, like probably in the first bit with what's her name? Who plays the teacher? Or who's the teacher character? Justine.
Oh, Justine
When
Gandhi.
she's like waiting outside the parents' house, and then she falls asleep, and you just see that lady walk out, and she's like very weird movement to her, like, and she has scissors. And she gets in the back seat, and you see the scissors come up. It's like, oh, is she gonna like just cut her throat, and then just takes a piece of hair, and walks out of there. So, which does her hair even get used? Oh wait, no, that's what's used to target people. The hair, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. What?
Yeah. That's what you wrap the hair around the twig and dip it in blood, and then that's the person you possess will just stop at nothing to kill that person.
But what allows her to control people? What did they?
Personal
right, that's
possessions.
Right. Yeah, because they get all the kids' names from like the thing on their like little cubbies or whatever. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought watching the trailer that, like, you know, the idea of like a bunch of entire class and then like all the kids are missing the next day. I thought this was going to be like a school shooting parable or something like that. And then you have
well, it does kind of, you can tell it's hinting at that. You can tell it has some things to say about school shootings that maybe you shouldn't say or you wouldn't want to hear, because for some reason an AR-15 is floating in the air at some point, and it's like, because that is the weapon of school shooters supposedly, even though it's actually not been used that much in that, but that is the, like, in everyone's mind that is fixed, and it's like a bunch of kids are missing. There's their weapon. The title of the movie is Weapons. There's a weapon floating in the air that has very sinister connotations, and then, you know, possessed assassins are being released to do havoc, and it's like, well, what's this guy saying? I mean, I don't know. It's
I mean, that's probably like maybe you can see the not the downfall, but like you can see with Zach Kreger, he has like fascinating and like incredible imagery and compositions of scenes and like kind of playing with your expectations. But there is the complete follow through is not there. Like this, when you try to logic out everything afterwards, it's like that doesn't make sense. But this isn't necessarily a world where things make sense, so it's okay.
It makes if you I mean, because you're just trying to second guess, and I sort of like worlds like this because I know the person, the main villain in this movie is basically Lilith, which is a demon from Jewish mythology who always preys on children and controls them by, you know, she come into their room at night and infect their dreams.
Okay.
But I mean, this goes back to like the book of Genesis. And because remember, she has the weird tree in her room. It's the core of her power. Well, what was the worst thing you could do as Adam and Eve in the book of Genesis? Was eat from the tree of knowledge, because it's where evil comes from. And it's like, oh yeah, this guy's totally playing with, like, what do they call that? Talmudic mysticism and stuff. It's like, yeah, you don't have to be like deeply involved in it to understand, because I just pulled that out of my ass because the other stuff I read, and it's like, yeah, you know where this is.
Well, yeah, that's why like his stuff is good enough that you can read that into that, whether that's what he intends or not. Like, you know, it's full Verhoeven effect stuff here. So.
Oh no, that's exactly what I mean, I don't. If he came up with something else for some other reason, it's like, I don't know. Because also 217, remember 217 about The Shining and alcoholism and all that. Yeah, guess where you find out I just looked it up. The warning about the tree of knowledge, Genesis 2, chapter 17. So no, that's exactly what he was doing. And but like I said, that's like all that other stuff I just inferred. It's like, well, if he's not saying that and saying something else, then it's like, okay, that's going way deeper than anything else that was done in this movie. So I think that's, he's kind of implying it's like there's evil forces out there doing bad things.
I wonder if he played Deadly Premonition, because there is like an evil tree thing in that too.
Yeah.
Was there an evil tree thing? Well, I guess it's not really evil, but like in True Detective.
Yes. Yeah, that's all goes back to that. It is all that stuff is either from it's from the book of Genesis, or it's more it's like the origin of the Alien movies. It's all Paradise Lost. It's about the fall from the garden. So between those two works, like Paradise Lost came much later, but it is a story and an invocation about man's fall and Lucifer's fall from grace and man's fall from the garden due to their just lust for knowledge. And it's like knowledge is like you can have it, but you can't control it. It's like fire; it'll get out of your hands and it'll ruin the world. You're better to live in a state of ignorance with a God that loves you. And it's like, yeah, it's always mankind's folly isn't lust, greed, or it's just his desire to be more than what he was ever intended to be. That's like always the story. And if you follow like Alien and basically everything,
people have described Ridley Scott as always trying to make Paradise Lost. So
yes,
and
and he is.
If you do full Verhoeven effect, you can make that work for pretty much every one of his movies. So.
He's actually said it too. It's not like he's being coy. He's like, oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Every movie he's exploring that theme. So
yeah, so this is and that's like, and where this ties into like because The Shining is one of Stephen King's like probably most densely layered works. And like I said, it has that great movie, which has almost nothing to do with the book, but is wonderfully visual by Stanley Kubrick. But yeah, if you actually just read The Shining, and it's like, yeah, that is also a book about people being enslaved by something. And this, in the case of the book, is the alcoholic father, and then like evil comes into their lives, and this guy's not equipped to deal with it at all because he's fighting his own demons, and that and the evil overwhelms and consumes him because he has his weakness, which is booze. And like the teacher's just drinking like amounts of booze that would knock me on my ass. It's like, yeah, she's a 100-pound actress, and it's like, oh yeah, she's a real alcoholic. Like she can't feel anything unless she's drunk, because she's not like a bad teacher or anything. It's just she's a flaw. Her personal life is flawed because she wants something she can't have, which is the cop who's married to someone else. So yeah, it's always that's everything in this book is like wanting what you you can't have and shouldn't have, and the evil forces that will just fill in the cracks. It's like, yeah, evil will show up for you if you wish it long enough. Supposedly.
But a great satisfying ending. Satisfying, very violent ending.
What's the ending you always want? It's like, oh, the bad guy fell and broke her neck down the stairs. No, she gets ripped apart by children. And everyone gets their kids back, but they're all screwed up. Like,
that's a good everything then just go back to normal. It's like, it's still this is still fucked up, but at least the evil we know of that we wish were dead is dead. So.
Yeah, those kids didn't talk for like a year, and there's no psychotherapy.
And we have no idea if those parents will ever be the same again. Did the one mom did they say she had a stroke? Is that why she walks all weird?
I'm not sure. You know what? I don't know. I thought she had a heart attack.
That's what I thought I heard. So I was like, is that why she like walks weird or something like that? But or if that was just a cover for the aunt to like, because that's like maybe the logic thing that people bring up. It's like, this is the only kid at school, and like they're not gonna like find out all this weird shit at the parents' house, or they never get to see the parents. Like, isn't that gonna like ring bells or whatever? But like, just you have to get on with it at some point. They do show them like, hey, they make the kids run away when the cops are coming over, so they like cover some of it. But it's like, and they're not gonna bother with trying to fill out the A to Z of how they hid all this from the cops. That's not necessarily important to the movie. It's more psychological, personal drama. So.
Well, I mean, lot of reason they didn't put it together either is because everyone in this movie is so damaged and just so like, because no one in this movie is like social or like outgoing or even innocent at all. Everyone's kind of a messed
And,
up
the kids,
person,
even the kids at school are
they're
assholes. So.
yeah, yeah, terrible assholes in the face of a tragedy that would be, I just 12 kids disappearing in a small community, and kids are going to make jokes and be assholes. It's like I don't know. That's a pretty cold.
Well, and even before it
then.
happens, it's like the kids are mean to what's the kid's name? Is it Alex? Yeah, I think it's Alex. And so that's what kind of gives him permission to like something's is gonna happen to you, but like I kind of don't care because you guys are all assholes.
Yeah, it's like, what am I mourning here? The loss of what? My friends? It's
but
like, no, I don't care if you're just standing in the basement.
But he's
like
just trying to save his parents. I mean, he ultimately has to like.
Yeah.
He also has to like keep these kids alive as well with like soup. So.
Yeah, they have to eat something. I mean the and the in between attack scene with Morgan Wong and Josh Brolin and Julia Garner all fighting. That was where they sent, because like Morgan got sent out as an assassin, and he's just running down the road like a lunatic. His face, because you always wonder like, what's wrong with his face? Why are his eyes caved in? And then you figure out what's going on.
Well, it's not just that. That's the other thing. Is like I'm not sure that people can blink when they're in the state.
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't notice it, but you think it's like Josh Brolin's gonna kick that guy's ass. Like, he's a construction worker. He's got 70 pounds on him. And it's like, well, yeah, he's stronger than him, but that guy's a complete lunatic. Like, he's not. He doesn't care if you hurt him. He's gonna keep going. It was an interesting fight scene. Because Josh Brolin's always like a tough guy. He's Thanos. And what's the guy's name from No Country for Old Men? Yeah, he's that guy. The only guy that ever fought Anton Chigurh and didn't get killed by him.
Yeah, and then that running pose, which is basically just the Naruto run, but just without leaning forward, and it looks all weird and creepy, and like it's very effective in the trailer. It's like, because I think in the trailer you're like, why are they running like that? And of course that's not explained. It's just it's visually weird. So it's like, why are all these kids synchronizing and doing the same run at the same time? It's like, what's that all about? Which essentially the aunt's trying to like cure cancer with the kids somehow, which I don't know. Like, there's some.
Well, the tree sucks their life force away. And it get like she can break things off of it and do whatever gross magic, whatever gross like blood, sperm, milk magic she's doing. It keeps her, because she's apparently very old. Because she's either a witch or a demon. We're not really sure. I'm not really sure how that works, but. Now, according to Zach Kreger, this is set in the Barbarian universe.
Yeah, that's his other movie. So,
like, this happens, concurrently with that.
Which again, like that, like, that's just a really interesting movie, and then like the movie you expect it's going to be is not what it is. Yeah. And then like what ends up happening isn't necessarily like otherworldly. It's just weird. And it's like sad and, and like basically covered up by like a city falling apart. So, and then you have the weird like interlude, like we're gonna cut to this completely different story that has almost nothing to do with it other than this like actor owns a house in Detroit. And then he's like,
well, no, he owns a house in Brightmoor. It's a sub-city of Detroit that's no harder and faster.
And it's funny where he's like trying to get like, he discovers the underground like place, and it's like, well, that's just more square footage we could sell this house on. Like, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, this house is like 20,000 square feet, and it's a World War II bungalow house. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, it's got a maze of death under it. It's perfect. People love it.
That wasn't in the original plans. We're gonna have to fill that in. So.
Yeah. With 20,000 yards of concrete.
Yeah, Zach Kreger, kind of a very good filmmaker. Hopefully, goes on to make.
He's doing Resident Evil next.
It's gonna be hard. There's been a lot of bad Resident Evils. They just had a new one like 2 years ago. They had a really.
They
had a really weird like television show with crap. Who's that guy that died recently? Was on The Wire.
Oh,
crap. What is it? Lance Reddick. It was like a Netflix live-action Resident Evil series.
Okay.
And then there was like one like a couple years ago. It was like trying to be like, it was like Resident Evil Raccoon City, and it was trying to be like the video games. Like it took place in like 1995, like when the video game came out. I think that's when it came out, something like that. And then it was not received well. So I'm not sure what he's gonna do with this Resident Evil movie, but it's a popular series. People know what it is. Like they're on Resident Evil, like 9 is coming out. So like it's people know it. So
it's the ones that Mila Jovovich is always.
Well, that was the original movie series. Like this, I'm talking about the video games. They're up to Resident Evil 9, which is a very different thing now. It's like, because like Resident Evil 7, it kind of like they made it kind of a different universe and kind of rebooted everything, and then 8 kind of continued that, and then now 9 is they're kind of merging things together between like this new storyline and the old storylines. But the games are very well done. So it's only the 6 was the one that was really the bad one. That's the one that if you look at the way they draw the 6, it looks really weird and funky. It looks like a giraffe getting a blowjob.
Okay, interesting.
And then that's like and apparently the gameplay is garbage, or it's not very well done. Although I did like the trailer for it, because they have the president getting turned into a zombie, the president of the United States. And so, then like, I think there's a title that pops up called President Evil, which like, that's fun. Which the games in Japan are called Biohazard. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you told me that.
Because Resident Evil doesn't really make sense. I mean, like, zombies are never really like a force of. I guess they can be. A lot of modern zombies is just, it's a virus, and so.
Yeah, I was going to say the virus, the zombies in Resident Evil were created by the Umbrella Corporation in Raccoon City, which at some points is a small hamlet in Pennsylvania, and at other points is New York City, depending on what story you're telling. It's like, man, this Raccoon City is massive.
Yeah, because what starts out as like, hey, a zombie thing, and it seems like, oh, it's like an infection that's breaking out, and then it turns out to be like, a secret like corporate lab that's building biological weapons to sell to like other countries. It's like, that's crazy. That's a crazy, interesting like story going on there. So, but yeah, it's always been like the great thing about Resident Evil is that kind of like turn on it. So, because it's not just a zombie movie. It's it's a far-reaching consequences of it. So. But it is weird, like, later on in the series, because then, like, the zombie never becomes, like, a world, like, outbreak. Like, the world, like, kind of, like, goes back to normal at some point, but then you have, like, there's, because it's called the G virus, and there's, like, different viruses in Europe now, and it's, like, taking over villas, but now it's, like, a parasite / virus thing that exists in Italy. We gotta go there, and they steal the president's daughter, and then it just basically becomes like their version of Escape from New York, but like in Italy, and zombies, and chainsaws, and Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mila Jovovich Resident Evil series, like, they're of mostly bad quality. There's a couple of good ones in there, but
yeah, they try. Well, they're having fun.
The guy who makes those, he's very successful at making video game movies very cheaply. So when you go back and watch them, you can see like, oh yeah, let's just go watch the new Resident Evil movie. Like they're fun enough to that, but then like if you try to like analyze them and like look for their art, it just seems so cheaply done. If you watch a supercut of those movies, it's like, yeah, well, it's probably worse when you watch it because the Red Letter Media guys did like a supercut of like looking at all those movies, and it was just like, hey, here's all these like really bad effects. Here's all this like really bad acting, and you can just see like just one shot, and like, you know, someone had a week to put an effect together, and they just didn't give a shit, and they just slapped all this stuff together and like made money on it accidentally. Because I think they just kept spending less and less money as the series went on. Because I think like the best one, which is like, I think the third one, where it's like it becomes like an apocalypse. It's like a worldwide apocalypse, and it's almost like Mad Max. And I think it's like Absolution or something like that. But that one's like really good. And then the rest of the series is just kind of like the world isn't Mad Max anymore. It's just kind of like back to normal, but like weird. So, but I think that one, like, they spent the most on, and I think they actually lost money on that one. And they're like, never again. Let's just make this stuff as cheap as possible.
Oh,
you know, and still doing like, you know, in the 2010s, doing like, you know, Matrix slowdown bullet time stuff, but like doing it as cheap as possible. And like in a time where like everybody thought that was like, well, that's lame and out of style, and like they just keep doing it. It's like
let's see. So in 2002, the first Resident Evil was made, and they made it for 33 million, and it made 103 million.
And actually, I really like the second one because it was pretty faithful to the video games. But then the last time I saw it, I was like, oh wait, no, this movie kind of sucks. So I think I just liked it because it was like being more referential than, because like most video game movies, they're just poorly adapted and like completely forget like the source material. And they just kind of use it as a name to like make whatever movie they wanted.
Oh, okay. Actually, they made a lot of money. Resident Evil Afterlife, they made $300 million.
Yeah.
$60 million budget. That's crazy.
They had an audience, so it was like, it's horror action, so I think it just met a certain audience at a certain time. So.
Oh, she's making most of them with her husband too. Okay, that's
he's the less good Anderson. He made Event Horizon. We know he can be good. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to compare him to John Carpenter, but it's like Paul W.S. Anderson made Event Horizon and learned to never make a good movie ever again.
Yeah, figure it out.
But then they tried to make a Monster Hunter movie, and also with his wife, and I think that one just completely bombed. So I don't know what he's making now. He's probably making something. He also made the new Death Race movies, which I haven't seen. I think they have their fans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's Paul W.S. Anderson's next movie? In the Lost Land. Oh wait, no, it's a writer. What's he directing?
No, he's directing in the Lost Lands.
Yeah. I don't even know what that is. It says it's coming out 2025.
I have not. It's based on something George R.R. Martin. Oh, it must have been terrible. It cost $55 million and it made $6.2 million. Oh, it's got Dave Bautista
I didn't know
in
it came out. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it must have been really bad. Too bad. I always think of Mila Jovovich from The Fifth Element.
Apparently, he's working on a House of the Dead movie, which I don't know. Whatever. That's I mean, Uwe Boll already did a version of that. No, he's the most prolific guy he would just like buy video game property movie rights very cheaply and then make like the cheapest movie he could and somehow made money.
Yeah.
So. He's like one of those, it's like one of those people like if you just get a movie produced and you know how to sell it to like like China and like get a movie into like the Middle East market and stuff like that, where you can just like have it on a television there, and they'll just give you like $5 million to just like, as long as the movie like meets all the standards they want or whatever. It's like, yeah, we don't have sex in this movie. What do you care? So, just weird stuff like that. Like, I don't know how that market works, but like he cornered it somehow. He made money somehow. So.
Huh. Yeah, there's a lot going on out there.
Thanks. Weapons. Catch it. I think it's on
Check
HBO Max. As long as that'll be a
Yes.
thing. So.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what the future of entertainment's going to be?
Because that means technically, like, if the deal goes through, Netflix will own it. Although Paramount's trying to do a hostile takeover, which that's all like weird and hilarious. So, well, apparently, I guess part of Netflix deal is they don't want any of the cable channels, so they're just basically buying all the property rights from Warner Brothers, essentially, for like $86 billion. But then Paramount's trying to do a hostile takeover for like $112 billion or something like that. And apparently, they just have that laying around.
Yeah. No, that's all Middle East.
Oh yeah,
money.
they're doing it through that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that's
because the Middle East they want to control golf, they want to control soccer,
wrestling.
What's the other thing? No, I don't know.
Well, no, they
maybe.
like so next year the WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi Arabia, and then also next year the Royal Rumble is going to be in Saudi Arabia, because even though WWE makes like a ton of money, most of their profit comes from the shows they do in Saudi Arabia for like the entire country.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. These people literally have trillions of dollars and nothing to do with it, and they're just trying to take over. They're trying to take over entertainment.
Well, I mean that oil money can only stretch so far. Like when they're done with it, like nobody's going to get anything from them. So.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing is they're trying to make that into vacation areas, and that's they got about another 100 years of oil money before and that sounds like a long time. It's not, and then it's going to be drill into the center of the earth. But yeah, it's interesting the amount of money they have and they're throwing around. They're just trying to. They're in everything. About a quarter of all your AI funding comes directly. What's that called? The sovereign.
Oh right, yeah.
Or not the sovereign. It's something like something wealth fund or whatever. Half your VC financing is through something like that.
Yeah, sovereign wealth fund or public investment fund. It's also called.
Yeah, that's where all because like a lot of American banks are not pouring money into that anymore. I don't think they have any money left either.
Yeah, I think that was the same one that they bought like all the they gave Chicago like $75 million and bought all their parking like meters and then made that money back in like 2 years. It's like, well, that didn't seem worth it, Chicago. So.
Yeah, you know how poorly that city's run too. I mean, it's a nightmare.
And then like the they bought EA recently for like $50 billion or something like that. But that one's the weird, like, they're going to leverage the debt against EA, and if they don't overcome the debt, then they're going to sell off EA to make that money back, because that's the same thing they did to Toys R Us. Because Toys R Us Toys R Us was a profitable company, but the way they got bought and leveraged the debt against them, they couldn't overcome the debt, and then all of the investors got that money back by just selling off all of the assets of Toys R Us. And then like, yeah, we're fine with it. We don't care if we ruined an institution in America. So we got our money.
Well, that was like also the boom in commercial real estate. Because the thing with Toys R Us was the buildings they occupied were worth more than the company. because just the price of real estate has just exploded to, ridiculous proportions. And commercial real estate, now we're seeing that with private real estate where homes are overvalued by, I don't know, some of them up to $200,000 more. You heard about that stuff in Long Island where everyone's killing their parents now?
What do you mean everybody?
Well, not everybody, but it's like it's becoming an epidemic of people's parents being murdered because it's still a very working class area, but some of the homes now are worth like $800,000, $1.2 million, and people can't afford to live there. But if their parents die and they inherit their home, well, it's like, let's push mom and dad into the grave. So yeah, there's like people. What was the story I heard about? I just like weird stories, like someone going into the house and like someone beat mom and dad to death with a hammer. It's like, who's doing this? Criminals, robbers? It's like, no, their son. It's like, oh, what? And yeah, it was kind of a thing. They're saying like, yeah, that's just a microcosm of where the rest of the country is going to be in 20 years. Because yeah, the real estate is so overvalued.
Oh, that was the thing like years ago with like, well, I guess it's probably still, maybe it never stopped being a thing, but with the controlled rent in New York and like wanting to kill people so you can get like the controlled rent apartment from them.
Oh yeah. What's more terrifying? That was like murder between strangers, though. Like that's
well, yeah.
That's
I don't know
scary.
how that passed off because it's like, well, wouldn't the person that owns the place have to like rent it to the next person? How do you be the next person? And like, I don't know how that works. So.
Yeah, I mean, but
it's the funny thing here is like if you murder your parents and get caught for it, now who gets the house? Is like just some billionaire going to buy up that house too.
Well, it's not like a well thought through thing.
Yeah, but what are the ultimate consequences? Like they're not getting away with it. That's one thing.
In the last 2 years, well, no. Here's what's going on. In the last 2 years, they're looking now back at like unsolved shit, and they're like, "Wait a minute, did the kids do this?" Because it's like, yeah, the crackhead kids that did it, like, yeah, they got caught. But the other people were like, they died. It's like, oh, they just swerved off the road and it was a single vehicle accident or some weird shit like that. It's like,
I guess I was assuming all the parents were killed in the house they want to take over. So,
well, I mean, that's the ones that make the newspaper are, but what was the one that people owned a bakery and the bakery just exploded? Like they went in and it's like they had the ovens were left on all night and they turned it on and but they'd owned it for 30 years. So they knew what the hell they were doing. And there was this guy named off like 15 examples in the last 3 years of people just dying in under weird circumstances on Long Island. And they're starting to put it together. It's like, well, yeah, these people grew up there. They can't afford to live there. They don't want to live in the, because, the other places around there are even worse to live in if you don't, and we're talking about people that like make $100 and some $1,000 a year. Well, they can't afford a, regular home that costs $2 million now that cost $100,000 20 years ago. It's gone completely insane. So now they're looking at all this stuff about the people who's like, oh, what'd their son do? Oh yeah, he was a building code inspector and he knew all the way buildings could go wrong. And it's like, oh, and his parents died in a bakery explosion. That's weird. Had they, were they new to the bakery? Had they used ovens before? Yeah, it was their profession. They've been doing it 30 years. Like, I wonder how the hell that happened. Well, sometimes pipes get loose. I mean, I don't know. It's just an interesting, dark trend that somebody picked up on. That's like, because then you just you're hearing about this like Long Island fratricide, and you just go on the internet, and it's like, yeah, there's plenty of examples. But also, like a lot of people live there too, so maybe it's not statistically uncommon. I don't know. Just don't hear about it a lot around here yet. But yeah, it's people are starting to look at stuff with different eyes now. It's like, yeah, there's been a lot of random death lately. Yeah, why'd their brakes fail? I don't know. What's their son do? Oh, he's a mechanic, works with his dad. It's like, huh, okay.
Are things going well for him? No.
Well, once he inherited his dad's business, yeah. You got that free and clear. So yeah, it's his brothers felt like they got cut out, but it's the will was changed at the last minute. And then there was always the mom. Yeah, I had like the 50-year-old son living with her, and it's like she fell down the stairs. She died. So yeah. All right, check it out. So this year for the American Greed Factory podcast, I'm Nathan.
Goodbye, America.